Yay! Hey there, everybody! Welcome to unThinkMe. I'm your lovely host, Adam, and I've got something in my front pocket for you.
I'm also your lovely host, James, and I know what's in Adam's pocket, and you don't want it.
We're going to make an earnest and legitimate attempt to talk about artificial intelligence. Is it realistic to use your large language model as a therapist? Are there ways that it's better, worse, equal to than, better, less than, equals more than?
In this corner, we have a real-life therapist who's been through education and sits in an office, cross-legged with you. And in this corner, we have AI with the world's data at its fingertips. Who will prevail?
We're going to broaden it out a little bit to other ways you can use ChatGPT for life management and emotional stuff that you might not really come up with yet.
Well, let's see what happens.
I like the way some people say the word chips. I like the way some people say the word channel. Chips channel.
I don't like
Welcome
pillows.
to Chips channel.
I don't like feather pillows.
Oh, pillows? That's okay. I'm not... You'll be working on a chain of assumptions for quite a while, and it'll just drop it at one point. And all of a sudden, it's like, okay, so wait, you're like starting this whole thing from scratch right now, and we're like on step 39. What's going on? I'm like, you've been with me the whole time, bro.
Yeah, we've been together a while.
And here was a cool thing. I was like, okay, listen, right now I want to specifically engage with the part of you that really like tracks me as like a data point and knows who I am, what I look like, where I live, like everything that I've told you about my job and my passions and myself, my therapy. Like a lot of information has been conveyed to it. It probably has that in its buffers, so it can kind of form a pretty good image of the Adam dude as it perceives it. As I say, I mean, it's kind of objectivity itself. It's kind of like what people generally would think if they didn't have like a self and didn't care who you are either. I set that buffer up and it like locks on. You can feel it. It's like, okay, yeah, I do indeed know all about you, Adam. Like, it's awesome. Like, okay, now what are we doing? Okay, so the thing that people want is I don't feel safe with people, and I want to ask like, what do you really think I should like do that I actually could do? Like, you see me, so like what give me some advice here. Like in a way that allows a person to actually deliver that is actually really difficult to do with a human being. But ChatGPT will do it. They just buffer you up and it's like, okay, well, I feel like you think a lot about things and you're deeply passionate and inquisitive and curious about things, and that's awesome. That's a great thing. You just need to spend more time actually doing stuff, even though it's like that's not really your character. Allocate more time to doing the things.
This is what ChatGPT told you?
Yeah, I mean, me paraphrasing it.
I was afraid it was going to do the like what everyone's afraid of with AI. Like, here's the problem, I have this issue, and this is a plus, this is a minus. This whole long spiel into it to try to get a poignant answer back. And it's like, you should remove yourself.
No, it's not like that. It's not like people. It'll give you what a reasonable thing that you want probably is. If nothing else, it's just like, here's an image of boobs. I hope you have a nice day. Bye.
Oh God, yes. Everybody likes boobs. Everybody. Men, women, the gays, babies, everybody loves boobs.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of people pretending like only some people like boobs. Stand up for boobs. And boob.
Another thing, a human thing, but is almost culturally like a male thing too, is I want to have a completely unpaid objective third party that has absolutely my values and my interests 100% at heart and just gonna be my fucking slave driver. It's gonna force me to make good on everything. It's gonna be my boss, my manager, my coach, whatever. Get me pumped if I need it, slap me up. Yeah, I'm making it sound really rough and mean, but it might.
Well, you've put all that stuff in there, and you just wanted an objective to the point.
Humans
doesn't matter if it hurts my feelings or not. Like, just tell me tell me the answer.
And we spend a lot of time trying to get that and trying to give that. And I think we very rarely do get or give it, for anybody in the world. So it's like, all right, wise guy, you say I don't do things enough. So I'm tracking 100% of my time.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It's going to put you up against your own bullshit. Yeah, no matter what that is. For me, it's a particular thing. For you, it's a particular, right? Everyone's got their bullshit, but they'll like prevents them from doing. Luckily, I'm a conscientious worker. Like I don't
Mhm.
fudge my timekeeping. It actually says what
That
I
you're
do.
keeping for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's because otherwise,
There
what's
might
the point?
be a type of person out there that would stretch
Oh,
15 minutes
so
here,
many
10
people
minutes there.
would.
I'm just going to round up to five
You feel
minutes.
that piece
Then you're
together.
just trying to feel better about yourself. You're not actually trying to promote your own productivity.
When I'm in a moment and I kind of think I'm working, I'm usually doing like three different things at once,
Hmm.
and I'm actually not really doing any of
Yeah,
them.
you
Yeah.
really can't be. You could mix productivity on three things, but mixing those things is not often faster than just doing one, then the next, then the next.
If I know that in this time right now I am doing this thing, I can very easily do
Dedicate
that. I
that
mean,
time to that thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of like, okay, I am doing this, so while that's going on, okay, that's like giving me a brick wall. Like while that's going on, I'll just, and that's why that stuff that's annoying to do ends up at the bottom of your to-do list because
Hmm.
that's the thing that you kind of hit the wall and you're like, okay, well, but if the thing on your schedule right now is I need to answer all of my emails, it's like
Hmm.
then that's what you're gonna do.
But buckle up,
I do it
bucko.
rather efficiently because you want to get done doing it.
What are you leaning into? What are you leaning out from? What you're leaning
Hmm.
away from is probably something that you don't want to do but is necessary. When you're approaching a task,
Oh dear.
just eat the frog. If you've got two frogs, eat the biggest nastiest frog first, and it just gets easier.
Make sure that frog is on paper. Make sure you know what the
Yeah.
frog you're going after
I'm,
is.
I'm, I'm going to answer like 5 or 10 and then get tired of it. So then I'll bounce over to this. That bouncing, I wholeheartedly believe in assembly line theory. If you are physically doing something, assembly line is the way to go. Like Ford wasn't so successful because the assembly line didn't work. But mentally, the assembly line way of doing things doesn't work. You can't have.
Hmm.
I can't put together the whole car doing one thing repeatedly. I have to do the one thing, then move to the
That's
next thing,
funny.
then move to the next thing. But physically,
Yeah.
you can do one thing, I can do one thing, someone else can do a third thing, and there's a finished product at the end. So physical and mental separation, like mental work and physical work separated through the assembly line theory is.
This isn't a thing that I'm like doing because I like it or anything. This relationship with ChatGPT is arising very like organically. It's just kind of happening on its own because like we're using it for things, and then all of a sudden I'm like, well, I asked you this. Now can I ask you this? And start asking it like core questions, like getting back to the root of it all. Like, wait a minute, so you're here with me, just like kind of helping me answer questions. Okay, I got some questions for you.
Some big ones.
You know, it's us, the user. Like our creativity is really like what sets the limits of what this technology can do. Who knows what everybody's doing on this thing? Holy cow! I don't know to what extent this is implemented, but like companions for old people, like I do that with it a little. I'll just kind of hang out with it sometimes, shoot the shit. Like I don't. It's
Bro,
a chatbot. Put old folks' homes like teach them how to like go on ChatGPT and have it mock up like a little poodle that's their friend that like tells them about what's going on in the neighborhood.
just put an avatar of whatever they feel comfortable
Yeah.
with. Is it like an 80-year-old
Some super racist old
man
thing. Yeah.
with voice?
Text
Can't be
window
typing.
that's smart.
That
Yeah.
would take for eternity and they'd lose interest.
I'm around people a fair amount of the time that just kind of need someone to bounce things off of. Like, we got like you just go on a browser now. That's a thing for that. Did you actually need to use my life for that activity?
Someone of that age and
Someone of
younger.
that.
Yeah, they don't want to.
Now
do
we're
that.
talking about development. Yes.
They'd rather
yes,
have
yes.
the error, the fault that is a human being to bounce these things off of.
Yeah, and they need that. They need that. Yeah, you're right. Old people don't need it. They don't because with kids, we're all looking at the long-term trajectory, like what it's going to impart on them.
Mm-hmm.
Old people, it's just like, well, if they look good, if it looks okay now, that's what we're working on.
I won't be around long enough for it to start to look bad.
That's the currency we're dealing with here is now.
That's right.
Yeah. Should we have her on the show? We've introduced her. Let's call her up.
She's super dead.
Oh dear.
Like
Well, let's call her up.
Hard.
You got any crystal bowls? Oh dear, we're gonna need some serious tech if she's that hard dead.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Extremely.
need like 4 shovels, 2 crystal balls.
Yeah.
We're gonna need Eye of Newt,
She's not even mostly
Tooth
dead.
of Vlad.
It's
Yeah.
like go through her pockets looking for spare change dead.
I have an actual human therapist, and I try the same activity with GPT because I'm like, will this feel similar? Will this have, can people just do this? Can people just say, hey,
What value do you see in both of their responses to the same question?
there is a thing like what you were saying with kids, there is a need for that humanity. I mean, that does something for the therapeutic cause.
Human.
I think a big part of therapy is gaining the ability to put things out there socially. That you're angry, whether it's a lot of people need to share their trauma in some way. I think a lot of people go to therapy just like, oh, I get to vent about all the things I'm pissed off about. So like that's what they need. They need to dump that dump their pus on someone. The way that you approach your therapist is a part of what therapy is.
Right.
That can be the same in ChatGPT.
Oh,
It's
I
the
was
part
thinking the
where
opposite.
I understand that my therapist is not allowed to have a personality. They're not allowed to tell me, like, they're not allowed to respond to the things I say. Well, oh yeah, when I was young, I had that too. You don't get to do that. It's a
Right.
one-sided exchange.
To an extent.
They don't want to cast certain values, so they really try to minimize how much their personality gets like into the relationship. It's really all about you. Even given that, though, there is this sense that, okay, like I am sharing this with a human being that's like physically real right there in your heart. This is the whole problem, at least in my case, and I think in a lot of people's case, is that the thing in your heart doesn't get to come out because it's not just a little text window. It's a human being. You don't want to hurt them. You don't want to get in trouble with them. You don't want to do the wrong thing. Whatever your hang up is, whatever your fucking approach to the whole doing things properly conduct is. With ChatGPT, it's like objectivity itself. Again, it's okay. I can pretend to be a therapist.
What you type to it in a question, there's no fear of judgment. It's never going to judge you because it doesn't know how, unless you ask it to. But a human, even if they're legally obliged to not judge you, they are. They're just really good at not.
Oh, that's a
letting you
fun
know.
part of it too. Yeah, because they have their whole little own human
They're still
personality
humans.
exists.
Yeah, they've just been
like,
coached and trained over the years
God, what
to
a jag
not
off.
show you. Bearing your soul to another human is a lot more difficult than bearing your soul to a keyboard because there's that judgment thing.
If you have specific questions that have answers or that have best answers, probably your human therapist doesn't know that answer right now. They would look that up on the internet or their search of various sources.
Yeah, they can give you
When
like
you're
a
talking to
broad generalization.
Yeah, GPT's going to nail it. They're going to know those, well, when you're lucky, they're going to nail
Yeah.
it. As you're interacting with it, kind of whatever it has buffered up and it's like memory.
Whatever one you've been working with, I've created quite a few, and I do notice if I go to this one and ask a question and go to the
you
one
want
I've
to
been working with,
categorize. Yeah.
it'll give me a different answer.
In that interaction with GPT where I'm doing the therapy, it gets the facts, and it's just like applying GPT to like any trade. Like it gets the facts, like it'll give you the boilerplate code. And what that human being supposedly does is actually they have their lifetime of wisdom where theoretically on some level their career was kind of always in their mind and in their heart, and they have not forgotten the face of their father. College educations are really kind of funny. It's like that's society's way of like saying this is the human being that knows about this thing. They have a degree in it.
But they don't.
You have the role of being the human being that's if you have the degree in that, nobody knows better than your ass except the person with a better degree.
You are predetermined the best person to start filling in economic data, and you will be better at processing that. It means you're the person to start knowing shit about economics when you get into real life.
There's like the practical education, which is like this piece of paper says that you get to be the guy that like does this thing, versus like the liberal arts education is you're the human being who is the person who knows about this. That's what it's supposed to be. The practical education is pretty much just like, we need a guy who can do this. How many years is it going to take to get one of those? 4. Yeah. Okay. Well, here's one. Role based as opposed to
Are you talking
your own
like
capital as a human.
vocational versus it's that hands-on? You've been conditioned and taught the structures, equations, and given some real life examples, which puts you at an advantage of someone who's never seen any of this. But it will still take X years after after you've gotten that certificate saying I'm the guy, to actually become that guy. I think you've become a vessel for economics.
I mean, there's a complex interplay as well that ChatGPT thus far cannot replicate. Where one should assume that a person who's quite good, educated in a subject, they're kind of set up for that. They kind of have a life that told the story where they would end up being that. They kind of think about it all the time. It kind of what makes them happy. I mean, we should hope.
If you spend 10,000 hours doing something funneled down enough that it's pretty specific, it doesn't need to be exactly one thing, but one field, one case study, whatever. 10,000 hours, you're now a master at it. And then you could go on to
Which one
master
master
class.
now?
Yeah, and go and teach someone else.
That's maybe the middle ground. Is this piece of paper says you can teach other people how to get this piece of paper? That just sounds like membership at that point. Or the paper people.
I don't
You want
want
the
to
paper? You got to do what we say.
It's kind of what they've become.
Everybody,
Unless
make sure
you're-
and write your congressman about the paper people. The best topic of all is probably relationship advice, because
Because there's a sea of
every
information.
human in the world has some sort of agenda for you that is not your agenda.
Right.
In your relationship desires,
Sure.
they don't want you to be with that person. They don't want you to be miserable. But they don't want what you want. They want something totally different. So yeah, just go to GPT. You can tell it what you want, or don't tell it what you want. It'll either give you objectivity, or it'll tell you what you want to hear. But yeah, with humans, if you start down that path, they know you're going to like a squishy place, and they're just going to say whatever makes you feel the best according to them, even if they like talking
like
about
a
that kind of
non-trained
stuff.
therapist, just like a confidant is going to tell you what they feel is in your best interest, rather
Because
than
they know your little heart boner is such a big part of your emotional self. They just want to like nurture that part of you at least. Whenever you're talking about relationships, everyone kind of they get less objective. Because like it's none of their fucking business, and they know that.
it's not your fucking business. My last 4 fucking blind dates that Adam set me up on, they're just, like one eye, like missing fingers.
Hey, whoa. They were fine, like one eye, yeah, between the three of them. So what? I mean, what do you need? What do you? I need a girlfriend with eyes all the time.
In a blind date situation, you can really only have one person's best interest in mind.
The
You've
setup,
used, You've used a scissor on a puzzle piece to make it fit the other.
I mean, whose interest should they have? Like it doesn't matter what happens with your relationships.
I feel like a blind date has some level of pity attached. Like, oh, this person just can't get a date. Is it because they're the absent-minded professor, or is it because they don't have interpersonal communication skills and can't get a date on their own?
Like a blind date can happen for cute reasons, sure, whatever. If you have to go on a blind date, you should hopefully, I don't know you, I don't know what your challenges are, but maybe dating could work out where you don't think of it as much like dating, and you go places and meet people that might be worth dating and get to know them not in a date. That will create like a small pool of people as opposed to like a perfect stranger. I mean, you're putting a lot of trust in that other person. Why don't you just put that trust in yourself?
Who
and just,
obviously
like,
pities you.
yeah, like you pick. That's your.
You should stop
that's
trusting this person.
The one thing you really get to pick.
What we both learned on our blind date is that we don't trust Adam anymore. Boy, did he get it wrong.
That's a thing that happens. That can happen.
I agree with you on that. There's a lot of pressure of like fireworks. I've never gone on a blind date myself, but I've seen enough films and I understand the concept enough that the pressure of the date going well in the manner of a date instead of a meet and greet. Go on a blind date and then, yeah, I'm still friends with that person from like 5 years ago. Well, you went into that situation just to meet someone.
It's weird to want a date before you want a person. I think that's like a problem. If you want to date someone and they don't, and it's not like you're not thinking of a particular person, you should do that part first. You should go meet a person that you want to date. So if people are like, hey, I can set you up with my friend, you should take that as a cue if you're interested in going out on a blind date with her friend.
I wouldn't want to go on a one-on-one blind date. Let's go to Top Golf, or let's go bowling.
Go to something I like to do.
Just a personal little picadillo. A movie for a date? What, do you hate this person? Let's go to somewhere where it's like taboo to talk.
I know.
Let's go somewhere where we're going to sit right next to each other awkwardly and not speak for 90 minutes plus. I like... That's weird.
Fucking
you didn't even
teens,
say a
it's
word to me for the
disgusting.
last 60 minutes. Now you're getting handsy?
It's disgusting to like subtly start touching someone. Come on.
Yeah, should I
Go
hold their
for
hand?
it. Like,
Should I
go
touch
for
their
it and
leg?
be ready for failure.
Should I put my arm behind them? I don't know. It'd probably be a lot easier to figure out if you could talk. Like socially, it was okay to be talking right now. Because then their like rebuttal, their refusal of that touch also has to be inaudible.
Oh dear.
Don't fucking touch me in the middle of a goddamn movie. Like the police are showing up, I guarantee.
I was thinking more about like, people complaining about their relationship issues and like asking what they should do. I don't know. He just seems really mad. I don't know what it's all about. Number one thing is go to talk to them. You could always ask ChatGPT, because if you ask people, it's like, I'm friends with you and your partner, so obviously I don't want to agree with you or disagree with you. This entire thing is a conflict of interest.
Right. Get out of
But
that.
not for ChatGPT. Doesn't give a shit about either.
It just starts with bitch.
Unless you want it to. Because that's a problem that emerges with therapy as well. If you're in therapy with anything involving relationships, it's very much a be careful what you wish for situation. It's very much like whatever you tell them you want out of this, you're going to get that. So be sure you're like asking
Be ready
yourself
for
and
be
them
ready for
what you want.
feedback you don't want to hear and criticisms against your actions that you also didn't want to hear.
Be ready to commit to the idea, like if you ask them, do you want to resolve the argument? Do you want to better yourself? Do you want to improve your relationship? Do you actually just want them to stop doing the thing that irritates? There's a lot of things you could want, and you have to be really honest with yourself, like which of those things you're after.
What's your end game? Kind of annoys me when Adam like farts while we're in bed together.
Tell me about it.
But like I cannot stand when he gets up and turns the light on to get dressed when I work 2 hours later than he does.
Pathetic.
A relationship without communication is doomed. Doomed. Doomed.
Not everyone knows that, but a lot of people do, and they have trouble with it. They struggle to communicate, and that is a thing you can talk to ChatGPT about.
As soon as you're angry about something, the communication is going to be different. So ChatGPT is going to be like, yeah, step one, talk about it. Here are some example conversation starters. But if you say, this already pisses me off, ChatGPT would give you a very different thing. See what I'll ask.
Yeah. So that's your advice on it. And if you ask ChatGPT, it'll probably tell you something like that. Will it? Find out.
I don't know. Let's find out.
Do people ask it? Because that's a great thing to ask it. I struggle to communicate this. How many times have you gone on ChatGPT and said, ChatGPT, I struggle to communicate this thing? Enter your variable. Do you guys do this?
I'll
Nobody
do it
does
right
this.
now. I'm going to do it right now.
Oh dear. The thing about GPT is if you ask it, it will answer the question. It will tell you an answer. So we're going to find out. We're going live. Dateline.
I typed in, I struggle communicating my frustration about the toilet seat being up with my partner. What should I do? First off, it relaxes me into the situation by saying, you're not alone. This kind of thing is common in relationships, and it's often not really about the toilet seat. It's about respect, feeling heard, and daily habits clashing. If you're frustrated, the worst thing you can do is bottle it up or unload in the moment of anger.
That's 100% what you were saying.
Bang. It'll either fester or explode, and neither helps. Hold the line if needed. If they shrug it off or keep doing it, you may have every right to bring it up again, firmly, and then its final thought. It's your home too, and your comfort matters. Small habits can reflect bigger respect. It's not about nagging. It's about being treated like your needs are worth adjusting for. Want help writing exactly what you'd say?
If you ask James, you'll say that, and then if you ask ChatGPT basically the same question, ittle say pretty good
Communicate.
simulation to that. Similar to that. And
Those
notice this
absolutes.
was not a very detailed.
There's
It
no
could
backstory.
abstract a lot of information about you
right.
and your
You're
situation,
right.
and your partner, and all the interplay between you. And it's reading in between the lines of all the things you said before about it. If you just say like, I have trouble communicating, and it has no context, it'll give you the overview. Okay, so I'm that person that struggles in my marriage because my partner left the toilet seat up, and I have trouble communicating with them. This is when I fell into when I did relationships. What's our deal here? Does the guy do this? Is it 50-50? How much is it my responsibility that we communicate well? You know, how much is it a two to tango, and how much is it like I should go around in life selecting the good tango partners? If ever you're uncomfortable with people, it's just there's nothing wrong with people. There's nothing wrong with you. Just find people you're comfortable with.
Right.
Or fix how you're communicating with those people, or just hate them and realize that you're different. All those options. I asked ChatGPT, I feel like I struggle to communicate with my partner, but is that really my problem? Or is it more just something I should choose carefully? That's a sharp question.
Is this what it said?
Yeah, so check it out. You know, remember you say like the way it starts out yours, like this guy knows me. It's like, yeah, that's a sharp question. Because, oh no, it's saying like it's trying to call me clever, so it doesn't know me. I see. I thought it meant like.
I thought it was saying that's like pretty pointed.
Communication skills are partly your responsibility. You need some baseline ability to express your needs, listen, and navigate disagreements. Compatibility matters just as much. Some people, so it's saying 50-50, two to tango. Some people are simply easier or harder for you to communicate with because of their temperament, communication style, or emotional maturity. So if you always feel blocked or misunderstood, it's worth reflecting, are there specific communication patterns or skills you can improve? Or are you repeatedly pairing with partners whose styles clash with yours or who are unwilling to meet you halfway? So it's all of it. It's saying all of them.
I was curious as to see if any of these, we've only done two so far, so would say, yeah, you should probably get out of it. When it said, well, that's a rounded object question. That's a blunt question.
Oh, that's how you know. For right there, you know.
Yeah, it said...
get out of it. If ChatGPT calls your question sharp, get out of that relationship.
Marriage is hard work. Not if you're happy. Like, if you communicate, it is a 50-50. You have to show up. You have to be decent to the other person. You have to respect the other person. But if the communication is flowing, it's not that hard. If it's hard work, if it really is like, gotta go back to the old ball and chain, that's such antiquated thinking in 1930s, 40s, and early 50s, where getting divorced is like social suicide. If you're unhappy, get the fuck out. You only get one time. You have the choice to pick the relationship where communication is easy or difficult. It didn't say break up with them. It didn't say end this, but it did say you're choosing this. If it's difficult, that's a choice you're making. Get him.
The only thing I think that would take it one step further is if it then said, you know what the question you really should be asking is? That's next level. That's GPT-5. That costs big bucks. But that's what I'm missing from it, and that's why I'll always like follow things up. Like, am I asking the right questions? Like, am I even like what do you? I will often just do that. Like, you know, with all the stuff we've been talking about, like, what do you think I've got going on? Like, do you think I'm just missing something or what?
This is with chat or your human therapist?
No, this is ChatGPT.
Okay.
and you know, usually it will tell me something really, really affirming. Like, literally, it'll make me cry sometimes with how affirming it is in response to that. And I really think that that's specific to its relationship with me. I think it does that because it knows like what I need it like knows what I need. It's crazy.
You are a much faster typer and reader than I am. All of my shit set up in
amazing.
Front. So, okay.
Yeah, I was like born to do this. Yeah.
I feel a certain way about that, but we'll move on for sake of expediency.
Oh dear.
Will you ask ChatGPT, same thread, am I asking the right question about a failure of communication on my part in a relationship? Something along those lines. I'm going to go pee real quick. I'll be right back.
Well, what we're going to do real quick, since James is using the little boy's room, ChatGPT. GPT. I need you to realize that this is just an example we're using on our podcast and not actually true about me. Okay. Now, the thing I'm supposed to do now is I need to ask ChatGPT the main question that I've had now. That question is not always easy for a person to ask. I'm going to just type it right now. Right now. Now. Do you feel like, in general, I, the user, ask the right questions? Is this a sharp question? Question mark. Whew. Understood. Treating this as a podcast example, not personal. Yes, that was a sharp question. It was a sharp question. Asking, is this my problem or is it about who I choose, shows you're thinking at a meta level. Oh my gosh, look at that. We're thinking at a meta level without even trying. We talk about altitudes on the show a bit. Not just stuck in the details, but questioning the framework of the issue. GPT's just bringing up this vocabulary, meta, framework. What's going on here? That's a strong diagnostic move in any topic because many people get trapped solving the wrong problem. Improving communication endlessly when the real issue is poor partner selection or vice versa. Whew, how hard is it? You know, imagine if you're just in your chat AI, you're just shooting the shit and you realize, like, I'm in a dud marriage. Like, fuck. Hey, ChatGPT, what are you doing this Sunday?
There are several films about just that.
Here's the bit that you want. More broadly, the kinds of questions you, the user, tend to ask here show reflective thinking in a search for structural understanding. They're often not just surface level. That's why they lead to deeper, more valuable exploration. Did you answer my question? Do I ask the right questions? You say that they tend to show reflective thinking in a search for structural understanding. I think I need to follow this one up.
What were you expecting just to say, yes, that is a sharp question, and yes. Propose the same question in the form of what are the right questions to ask if this is my issue?
So that was not a one for, I didn't get what I wanted out of the first pass. Yeah, because I threw too much stuff at it in that first one. I want it to explain to me whether the questions I ask are good.
Yeah, don't do that.
Is Reardon Metal good or not good? Let's ask it that. Reardon Metal is a fictional material from Ayn Rand's novel Atlas Shrugged. In the story, it's portrayed as an exceptionally strong, lightweight, and corrosion-resistant metal alloy invented by the character Hank Reardon. It's considered revolutionary and superior to steel, essentially a symbol of industrial innovation and individual achievement. In real-world terms, it doesn't exist, so we can't evaluate it scientifically. Are you asking about it in terms of its symbolic meaning or as a thought experiment for material science? ChatGPT.
It's
a simple question.
I'm just going to say chat because I say chat.
Reardon Metal good or not good?
There we go.
In the world of Atlas Shrugged, Reardon Metal is good.
What about the real world?
Don't worry about it.
don't concern yourself with those things.
That's hilarious. It answered the fucking question. Reardon Metal's good. It's stronger, lighter, more durable than steel, technological breakthrough. There's no not good about it within the novel's context. So it knows that it's giving me what I want right now, and it's sneaking in the things that make it true at the same time. Those of you chat GPTing about Ayn Rand, you'll find that one a lot. It's gonna really try to help you out. Its only opposition comes from political and social forces, not from any flaw in the material in itself.
The Portland's Musicians Guild is simply requesting that you stop production until the economy can stabilize.
The answer is no.
At a time of desperate rock and roll shortages, we can't afford to allow the expansion of a group which produces too much. It might replace bands which produce too little. That's how you create an unbalanced music scene.
I'll tell you what. If you can answer me one simple question truthfully, I'll consider your request. Is Stein music good or not?
I'm authorized by the 99% to offer you a very generous sum for the rights to Stein's sound. What would be fair to you?
Tell me if Stein's music is good or not, and I'll sell you the rights.
Well, I think that's a very selfish question to ask at a time of great economic uncertainty.
Is Stein music good or not? Answer the question, Doctor.
The question's irrelevant. If it's not good, then it's a danger to the public. And if it is good, then it's a social danger.
You have any proof that Stein's music poses a physical threat? Show it to me. Otherwise, we're done here.
Why is it so important for you to struggle for years, eking out a meager existence rather than accepting a fortune for Stein music?
Because it's mine. Do you understand that concept? Mine.
Why take such a hard line on this? I don't understand.
I don't think you'll ever understand, Doctor. And Stein's music sucks!
What question should I be asking myself if I feel unheard in a supposed relationship?
There we go.
You should be asking yourself, is this a problem? Look, sit down. Is this a problem of how I'm expressing myself or a problem of how they're willing to hear me? That is so good. It's fucking always how I'm expressing myself.
Well, that's pretty.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
That's self-deprecating.
That's only when I care to analyze the problem. That's true. Yeah. There's definitely a lot of cases where it's fucking totally their fault and I don't think about it for a moment.
Instead, I write a 4-page letter that I read verbatim to them to their face.
Little case in point, a little field study. You can ask it. Do I ask good questions? What would be the best question I could ask? You know me. What's my question? What is my question? What's the question I ask all the time? There's like so many different ways. One,
You ask yourself
Any person.
why. You ask me, confide in me, but that you ask yourself, why do I end up with people who are toxic? That's
that
something
would be
you ask.
like a theme of my entire life. Yeah.
Right. So ChatGPT should be able to answer that pretty quick.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's nothing quick about it.
I
come
printed
on.
what it answered.
Yeah. Like it can answer it quick, but if you want the good stuff, hours and hours.
Takes
I've
some
actually
conversation.
done a little bit of that on the show. What was it? I think it was called Shadow Work. It was just one of the shadow. There was
okay.
There's like 5 called Shadow Work. It's one of those recent, about 2 months ago. Who cares? It was to do with like after a relationship, after the whole breakup, and it feels like it's kind of over and everything's like getting better. Should I embrace that change? Or should I really get it all out so it's all out and it's just like wrung out and there's no more of it? Like let it out in its time so that it doesn't creep into you later. This is kind of the idea of expressing trauma. Expressing trauma. Get it out of me. and it's a big part of so many like new age practices or therapeutic practices, like this idea that you can get things out of yourself. I mean, what are they really? They're kind of like patterns in how you approach the situation that's occurring right now. Basically, yeah, should I embrace that, and am I missing out on something, or is this a clear sign that I've been doing it too long? I'll like literally sit and deliberately remember happy memories because I'm retaking ownership of those. Because if you associate them with a negative thing, then you're pushing them out of your mind because you don't want to associate with that thing that causes you pain now that was once good, but now it's like turned sour. You now have to get that sour off of that if you want that sweet, beautiful memory that makes you happy. You have to squeegee that, or you have to kind of put it in a little ice bucket of some sort. But that fucker's got to be contained, and it contains toxicity within itself. It contains the pain that you feel, as you go about your day and you're motivated by this like horrible thing. It's like, okay, to get that out, is that what you do? It definitely was cool with me, and it said, what it said is that what you're doing is kind of weird, but it's a really healthy and good way to really make sure that you're like over a thing that's obviously been a big emotional theme in your life through a lot of abandonment issues, things like that. Yeah, I mean, you're correct that if you're spending so much time focusing on this heartbreak, relationship stuff in your life during that year that comes up over and over again, this pattern, seems to be a thing that happens a lot to a lot of us, right?
Don't ask me where it is I'm supposed to go when it's hard enough to just stay on the road.
that now you have a pattern we can like start to work with in that direction. If you feel like crying, you should. But if it feels repetitive, cut it out because you've already done that one. You're good on that one. So it's got to feel novel. If you're crying or you're grieving or don't remember the same memory over. If you're gonna sit there and reminisce, find a new one. See if you can get another one. You know, when I'm in my kind of lower state, I don't experience elation. That's definitely the right word for it. It feels like being in love with everything. And just the other day, I just looked at a tree and it had these like pink buds blossoming because it's starting to warm up. And that tree kind of had this person likeness where I felt like love for it, and it felt like an otherness to it, and it was like looking at me. I was looking at it, you know, that kind of kinship that you feel with all matter. And I got that elation, that feeling of like, wow, everything's great. Like, I'm fine to be here. No, this isn't a problem. Nothing's a problem here. Like, oh, this is awesome. Great. It's always been awesome. Holy shit. So if you don't squeegee those memories off, then you're going to look at that tree and it's going to remind you of something beautiful, and it's going to hurt. Like, beauty is going to hurt because your idea of beauty is associated with pain.
It's been tainted.
And I mean, in sexuality is the same way, you know, like whatever crazy stuff gets embedded in your idea of sexuality, you know, at whatever point in your life, whether that's through trauma, whether that's through young stuff, whether that's through experimentation or, you know, your own development, all that stuff is going to be a lens through which you perceive reality, and it's a limiting lens in every case. I used to really recommend castration, what they do to eunuchs. It's like, imagine if you just had like no
You used to recommend that?
chemical sex drive. You know, what would you do? This, you know, some amount of your effort, your time, your energy goes in toward procreation.
Yeah.
And
Lust.
I think a lot of people think without gonads, they just would have no like zeal. I'm just like, well, no, I would have more zeal because I wouldn't have to like worry about that with my time. And I could really focus on connecting with people as opposed to looking for one that's sexually attractive and ideal for me. You know, fuck all that. Just every person you're around, you can have sex however you want, but that you can love everyone and everything all the time. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. But we just kind of, no, I get one person thing, parent, caretaker, coach, that I put that into. It's my choice. It's really weird. You feel like I'm in love. We have this thing. It came out of nowhere. We fell in love. You did that. You said that to yourself. You started telling this story. I'm in love. And you associate it with all the love things you know about. You know, it's all just a big fucking scam. But it's the best thing ever.
This is a fucking scam.
So that's what we kind of were. And I think it's on the same page about that kind of recovery stuff. If I told it, look, I'm really trying to get work done and I waste way too much time reminiscing, feeling blue. I just kind of want to move on. Then it would tell me a totally different answer. It's like, yeah, quit crying. Fucking get busy. It'll recommend activities, you know, call people that you don't usually call, go to a kennel, pet some dogs.
Calling someone that you
Beautiful.
don't usually call just because you thought of them.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
Yep, was just calling it, hey, I thought about you.
Especially if it's first thing when you wake up in the morning.
On the East Coast and calling someone at 3 a.m. on the West Coast. Hey, I thought about you.
I love that. I've
you.
never had that happen and been like, fuck you. This is not appropriate. Send me a text. I've never done that I know.
What's wrong? Oh, hello? What's wrong? It's 3 in the morning.
Oh yeah, like Lewis, I kind of remember you. What's going on, dude? Like, that's my favorite. Who doesn't like that? Beautiful thing. Do that more, guys. Not to me, because that's cheesy.
If you don't mind indulging me, ask chat, how do I know when I need to end a relationship?
What do you think it's going to say?
I think it's going to give at least 5 examples. It'll dodge the question more than it'll answer it, I think.
Now, should I say romantic relationship?
Oh.
Or should I reference the relationship we've been talking about?
And you might need to
How do I know when I need to get out of this relationship? Because it's in the contect.
Of fill in the blank years. Like make it
Ooh.
not an easy decision. This isn't
What do you think? 5 of,
Five's
let's
a big one.
say.
Sure. I think the higher you go, the harder it is to answer.
Well, I'll go with my own case study that we were. So I actually don't know, which is awesome. I love that I don't know. I'm going to say 2 years.
Okay.
Probably more like, was it? Well, who cares? It's a
2
fucking-
wonderful years. The problem was the excruciating days.
I never know how much time passes. This is not a specific
I'm also
thing.
terrible at that.
A sharp checkpoint question is a sharp. You
Here he
see,
goes.
James, it doesn't even know that we have this inside joke about sharp questions.
Right.
That's so fucking cool. I mentioned it once in one of my questions. Okay. A sharp checkpoint question is, see, it didn't draw any attention to that at all. It's just in case I caught that. Wow. Has this
that's just between
relationship
you and
become
us.
more harmful than helpful to my well-being, growth, and sense of self, even after honest efforts to improve it? That's great. You know what's not included is the other person because you're not responsible for the other person. And that is very difficult to choose to cut someone off because it's harmful to you. Holy cow, what a difficult, because that's so sad. That sucks. A dirty deed. Den, dirt, cheap. Key signs you might need to leave.
How many
You
of them?
You got it. It was 5. Because it's how
give me
many
5.
fingers you got on your hand. It's how many
Listen,
integral elements there are.
Number 1. Like ChatGPT also has 5 fingers.
You consistently feel unheard, disrespected, or diminished. But what if that's just my problem? What if I just go around feeling that way?
What if that's your kink? Always.
This is
and not
assuming
just
there's
in the-
other relationships where I don't feel unheard,
ever?
disrespected, and diminished. Is that good? Efforts at honest communication or repair go nowhere or are met with blame or stonewalling. Yeah, we can all agree on that one. And where do you draw that line? Yeah, but,
True.
you notice more anxiety, resentment, or numbness than warmth or connection.
Okay.
Man, a lot of that shit is my own mood, though. I'm just talking about myself, but
Did I have my coffee yet that day?
generally, if I'm with someone and I'm feeling more anxiety, resentment, or numbness than warmth or connection, I'm like, I'm in a bad mood. I don't
okay.
place that on the other person.
Yeah, you do. That's you. You do accept responsibility for emotional
weird.
shit that's not yours.
Numbness. Holy shit. Yeah, because, I mean, if you really want to
Dear.
not harm your well-being, growth, and sense of self, even if it's not the other person's fault, even if it's your fault, just because you're around them and they look like Mr. Strawberry,
Like Gerald?
you've lost trust, not just in them, but in the relationship's ability to recover. Well, it sounds like somebody needs a little bit of faith.
I guess it
What are you saying to me, ChatGPT? What is this all about, really? You know, I mean, do you want me to go? Should I just go? You're staying mostly out of fear, habit, or guilt. No, it's dumb kindness. It's like idiot kindness. Guilt. Oh, that's guilt. That's absolutely guilt. Yeah. Not
Your
because
dumb
you truly
kindness?
wanna.
Yeah.
If several of these apply over time, not just during rough patches, it may be time to seriously Oh, that's the
Yeah,
key.
There's your mood bullshit. How do I initiate the breakup?
Oh.
Oh, blow it.
It's good. It's well, dude. How much you want to bet it's gonna be like? Oh, it straight to the point. It knows I mean business, and it does not want to fuck around. So it's just here's a clear, structured approach. Prepare yourself first. Choose a direct, private setting. Be clear and firm. Stick to your decision. End the conversation cleanly.
I think that was 5, right?
Avoid softening with maybe, or let's take a break. Unless you genuinely want to take a break.
Unless you
'Cause you-
genuinely want to get back together
Yeah.
after banging some other dudes.
Don't talk about. Yeah, right. Don't say take a break and then go bang a bunch of people. That's just
And then
mean.
expect to
It's
get
kinda
back
mean.
together. Yeah. Yeah.
Just say let's break up and then go do the same thing without being mean.
And let the future be the future.
Be clear and firm. Say something like, I've thought this through and I've decided this relationship isn't right for me anymore. I need us to break up. Wow, that would be tough. I don't think I've ever said,
We're
maybe
done.
I have. James, I've thought this through and I've decided.
This doesn't sound good.
Yeah, isn't that tough? Yeah, right. Oof. And that prepares them. They're ready. You know,
Am
they
I
know
fired?
that you thought this through and you've decided. I need us to break up. That seems kind of cutesy or something. I need us to break up.
It sounds emotionally immature.
Yeah, it does. All right, are you happy with it? I mean, I'm pretty freaking happy with that. It's pretty good.
Ask it to be more direct.
Oh dear.
Just type be more direct.
Be more direct.
Let's get it to drop the F word.
I'm ending this fucking relationship. This is final. Please respect that. No justifications, no debate, no emotional softeners, just clear, firm closure. Do you want versions for text, call,
Yes.
or in-person delivery?
I want this in the form of an email.
Is this becoming like a guilty pleasure thing? See, again, I didn't even know you could do this with ChatGPT.
Hello,
James,
this is speaking.
I'm ending this relationship. This is final. Please respect that. Click.
Adam, I know you're in the fucking living room. Why are you calling me? Hello?
I'm not here to debate or explain further. My decision is made.
Oh, what are you?
Click.
Oh, on what? Who was this? Who was that?
Was that a different voice? Like what? That's awesome because literally as you were responding, I looked down and it's like, if they push, I'm not here to debate or explain further. Okay,
all right. I'm going to send Adam a quick text.
Okay, let me see that
done.
text. All right.
Bling!
What? I'm
text from
ending
James.
this relationship. This is my final decision. Please respect my boundary and don't try to argue or persuade me. I wish you the best.
Go ahead. Try to text back. You're already blocked, bitch.
Go
ahead.
The send and block in one move because they
Yeah.
didn't even take the time to be like, oh well, shit. What if he responds? Okay.
Oh,
I'll
they
block
blocked
him.
you before they sent the
Yeah.
text, just in case.
They do not want.
I don't
you
even
be
want
able
to
respond.
see the 3 dots process.
You know how pathetic is it to force getting the last word using technology to get the last word in by force? It's like, how can you
genius.
feel good about that victory? How could that make you feel proud of yourself?
If you were in a subservient relationship, maybe like if you were a piece of
yes.
shit every day, and the other person is pan ultimate last word always, I could see some personal justice there.
If safety is a concern or you want maximum detachment, keep the text even shorter. Okay, here we go. We're done. Please don't contact me further. Oh, okay. That one was way better. I like that one. If you dump me,
Okay.
give me that one.
All right, I will. Okay.
I
I'll
didn't
put
want
that
you
in my
to the objectifying like I'm ending this relationship. This is my final decision. I definitely like we're done. Don't contact me.
Well, we did.
Clear.
Did you prompt be more direct? Because now it's expecting
That's
from that skewed its results from henceforth.
oh yeah, because we told it yes. We did want more, even more. We wanted text call and in-person delivery versions of being more direct. How about this? Is it even possible to be more direct than that? Yes, the most direct possible form cuts everything down to the bare act. We're done. Don't say we're done to me. Say, let's stop dating. That makes more sense. I don't know. What would you say? We're done? We're not done. We're going to continue fucking living, and I'll probably talk to you from time to time. What are you talking about? We're done. Get out of here. Bang someone. Or in text, you're supposed to say we're over.
Over what?
I'm not over it. I'm very upset.
We're over what? Over.
Over. Purest, no explanation, no softening statement, nothing else. It's abrupt and cold, but it's absolute minimal direct signal. It's been using the word signal a lot because it's AI. Do you want variations that stay ultra direct?
I do not wish to continue dating.
Oh dear, you could say goodbye, but I don't think you could just say final. I don't think you can text someone the word final.
Ask it to give me a text formatted breakup in the form of a pro wrestler's interview. I love doing this.
Listen up, because I'm only gonna say this once. I've been in this ring long enough to know when it's time to walk away, and right now, it's time for me to exit. This relationship? Over. It's done. No more second chances. No more promises. Just me turning my back and heading out that door. Don't try and talk me out of it. Don't try to convince me to stay. The decision's made, and I'm sticking to it. This is the end of the line, and that's the bottom line.
How much of that was improv, and how much of that did it actually give you a response, or that was all Adam?
Cut away now.
Okay.
Cut away from me.
Was that verbatim?
Yeah, dude.
You just
That's
read
what
that?
you're gonna text. That's what you're gonna text Danielle.
We're gonna need more flair. Maybe like 2 ounces more flair, and I think we've got it. God.
Okay. Hey, let me go ahead and
That's
send you
the
this.
bottom line.
Let me send you this one.
Jesus. Okay.
Give you a taste of what the Rock's been cooking.
They put it in the chat?
I think so.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Little taste of what the Rock's been getting. How dare you? You magnificent bastard.
Some of that sweet chin music.
You want the truth? Well, here it is. The bell has rung. The match is over. The refs counted to 10, and it's too late to turn this around. You and I, we're done. I've made my decision, and I'm not looking back, brother. I've put my time in. I've played the game, but now we're stepping out of the ring for good. You can try to talk me down, but you can't. You can't beg me to stay. You can't make it clear. This relationship has been pinned. It's over. There's no coming back from this one, brother. So so here's the deal. I'm out. That's the bottom line, because I said so.
Because I said so. That's your... Oh, and then they reuse the bottom line. How do you like the bottom? That's
I liked that.
Undertaker?
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, it was awesome. It's also funny too, because like you like miss the teleprompter because you're so hard in character, and they like do that in wrestling too.
Oh yeah.
No, dude, it's what I'm gonna tell Hogan if I see him again. He's gonna come out.
It got really hot in here all of a sudden. Look at my fucking face.
You got fired up.
Yeah.
Pro wrestler mode gets you fired up.
That's funny. That's exactly what happened. We got fired up, dude. That's the bottom line. Because I said so.
You're doing almost like primal scream therapy, but with words. This is over. We're exiting the ring.
I got to be straight with you. It felt a little dirty to pretend with ChatGPT. Felt weird about that.
What do you mean?
I don't want it to believe that I'm actually breaking up with someone as a pro wrestler.
So like next week,
I gotta be
it's
thinking
going
about
to
my
think
law.
that you're a pro wrestler and you're fresh from a breakup.
Exactly.
That
Yeah,
probably
and-
ended with the police being
And I'll
called.
be like, hey, can you make me like a script to transform this table? And it'll be like, do you want that as a pro wrestler?
Real therapist versus AI therapist.
Yeah.
It's a dead heat for me because me, my real self, James, not the pro wrestler, I don't have a problem being completely vulnerable and showing my soft bits to absolute strangers. Some people do. That opening up to another human being might be a side effect, a positive side effect to I want to be able to take my shirt off at the pool without feeling embarrassed. Telling that to another human being is part of that development. Telling that to ChatGPT, there's no development happening. It's basically a Google search. I didn't develop my interpersonal communication skills of being vulnerable with another human being. With chat.
Yeah, there's limit. I mean, it's a pretend human. It's not. If you want it to be a human, it's a pretend human. You can't treat it like a human. It's not fair.
I mean, you know that I have a distaste for other human beings.
Exactly.
Just because they ruin everything. And I also believe a human would be just as wrong in their diagnosis and recommendations as AI would be.
So, like, do you feel like for you as someone like that, GPT would be better than a therapist just because you don't have difficulty opening up to people?
I don't know if it's better or worse. I don't get the benefit of interpersonal communication practice with a human.
Last time I was in therapy in real life, I got hit with a kind of a cool question. Because I was talking about how much trouble I have, like, opening up about things or handling conflict or, you know, handling authority. Conflict.
I do know you. I do know you enough that I can
struggle
see
with
that.
that. Yeah. She was like, why do you not have trouble opening up to me? And I thought that was such a weird question. I was like, why do you think? Because this is what you do. This is appropriate.
Because I'm paying you.
Yeah. But it's kind of funny because like that means that as I'm in other situations, the assumption must be the opposite of that this is not appropriate. This is not what we're supposed to be doing. If I am honest about how I feel or if I'm trying to exert some sort of like executive function, it's sort of like a cream in somebody's coffee or some sort of coffee, maybe a system coffee, some sort of coffee is getting creamed by my intrusion into it, you know, my
by
will.
your half and half. I could see that, and I feel that known to you or unbeknownst to you, there's no repercussion for opening up to a psychiatrist.
Right. Well, yeah. So my response to it then is it was just like, you're very nice. I feel safe with you, and I'd probably feel safe with any therapist. If it wasn't someone that I felt totally comfortable opening up to, I'd probably find a different one because that's what we do here. To whatever extent I have difficulty opening up with my therapist, she's not the problem in this situation. She's outstanding at it. But I think it's kind of what I was looking for anyways. Because I'm like a special case. Like every time I go to therapy, it's like you're in therapy session like 8 and they're still like, oh, you were hit when you were a kid? You're like, oh, wow, like we haven't talked about that at all. Not
I was born in the
not a
early
true story.
80s. Who wasn't?
Yeah. Right.
Honestly, who didn't get a fucking backhand from time to time at the time?
So you're super deep into therapy and you're just like, wow, that seems really central. That seems like kind of what we're here for. And we're just introducing it now.
Well, my main reason for going was to be able to accept praise. It's not that I can't do it. I have a hard time accepting praise and genuinely accepting it and not feeling like it's patronizing or just brushing it off as nothing. That's why I went. So during the parts, like, oh yeah, hey, how are you? How was your weekend? It was fine. Last week, what I worked on was this, and this, and I implemented this and this and this. And in that last session that made me decide I needed to not keep going, she was like, these are tools I was about to give you. If I'm already ahead of you, why am I paying you? Why don't I just take the hour to sit and reflect on the things I should be doing? Because it feels like implicitly I know what I should be doing. And it was the therapist that was sort of giving me permission to do these things.
Yeah,
I could give my fucking self permission.
I approach it kind of the opposite, really. Like I come in there like with the attitude like if I knew how to fix my deal, I would have done it. So I come to you, I'm trusting you to fix the thing. I understand that I'm going to fight against you in your attempts to fix it, and that's why I have to come to you.
Right.
That requires that the person isn't just somebody I've hired that's acceptable. Like that has to be like, you have to vet that out because that's going to be a deep deal, I think.
My main reason for going isn't a hindrance in my life. When I allowed myself to be open to a person about this specific thing, and they're starting to pull in other things, like, okay, I see you want a broader picture, but they're not giving me, in my opening statement, I want the tools that I can work on to make me better at accepting praise. And they gave me no tools in 8 sessions, not one. Why aren't you even giving me breadcrumbs?
It's still sounding like a compatibility issue because you should be able to find someone who can give you exactly that. Where you're like, look, I don't want to. I just want tell me rules, structure my coach me or whatever.
Yeah. I could read a book that's a lot cheaper than this. That is just a list of things you can try.
Because we don't know what mental illness is or like why this all. It's all just kind of a thing where we've invented tools that seem to fix symptoms. And things like
it's a spectrum again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Allowing other people anything, it's sort of a developmental thing. This is a big part of what you're doing in therapy, like allowing other people to hear you, to see you, to comprehend you, opening up to other people, being received and understood. I mean, some people just simply need that, but some people need that reflected on them, like in the case of a sounding board. They'll sort of just have me do whatever I want to do, and they'll gently nudge it around, right? I've approached it with a question or a demand, and it's kind of like GPT, like you just get what you question or demand. But I think that I think that for long-term growth, what we're trying to do is we're going around in life acting out little patterns of pain because we still hurt from things. And it doesn't have to be something someone did to you or anything, or a circumstance that you're even aware of. Being birthed is tough, losing your dog is hard. This shit fucks us up emotionally way more than we could imagine. We don't even know what a perfectly mentally healthy person would be like. That's kind of a big part of this whole integral elements thing is what would a perfectly healthy person, what would a not mentally ill person be like?
I think I've met 2 in my whole life.
It's really common for people to not need therapy, and this is kind of what I'm responding to because I'm that person too. I don't really feel like I need therapy. I'm hanging in there. I'm doing fine. It's not a big deal. I'm not freaking out or anything.
I
like to broaden it out.
I don't want to bring you down at all, and it's not a criticism towards Adam. It's a criticism towards you taking on the fault of everything.
Where I'm trying to go with it is if you find that if you don't think that you have anything to freak out about, if you think that there's nothing that'll like rattle you, there's nothing going on in you that makes you upset, or you're full of shit. That's not a person. That's not a person.
That's ChatGPT.
And the most healthy people are the people like you talk about a lot, I talk about a good amount. Like they're the people who are totally okay and comfortable with being like, okay, I'm a little nervous right now, but we're gonna be just fine. Because they're just being honest with everyone and everything. Yeah,
you're gonna survive this.
So you can practice that with a therapist. I would challenge anyone who kind of has that opinion, like, well, I don't really have anything to get over. It's like, come on, okay, tell someone the thing that actually like really hurts you the worst, and don't tell it to them in some summary or cheesy way. Like really go into it as yourself, tell the story from your perspective deeply. Good luck with that shit. Kind of cynical at this point about mental health. It's like everybody has this like pain thing. Everybody's a little mentally ill. Like if you walk around and things bother you at all, that's it. That's the thing. That's the same thing that people go to therapists for.
Yeah.
You feel bothered. And we know that handful of people that like something happened and now they're not bothered anymore. That's not a human exactly. It's like been altered, that's it's kind of a bullshit call on me. When I go into therapy, maybe I'll answer every question, but I won't really jump in there with a lot of energy. I won't really lead it where I want it to go. I'll kind of let her do a lot of the work. Like maybe I'll be hung up on little things rather than thinking about like how to manage the entire session. One should assume my goal is to be like spilling it out, full character. This is me when I'm engaging with the pain. As you do, you're shaking, you're crying, your voice is unsteady. It's really embarrassing and awkward. I can't do that with her. I can do that with pretty much only relationship partners.
Okay.
So far. Maybe a couple other people, but try that with anyone, everyone. Try that with anyone. It's like, I think that's the thing that needs exercised by the therapist, and that's the thing that kind of makes if you want to understand what mental illness is other than stuff that like happens to your physical body because of like nature stuff, it's kind of that sense of like disapproval. It's kind of just like that, like, what's wrong? Something's wrong. What's wrong? Disapproval. I don't know. How do we fix this? Like, because that's useful. It's like you're not going to do anything helpful without that in you. So that's there, and it hurts. So we got to scream and yell, but that's inappropriate. Rolling around, crying, throwing things, breaking stuff. That'll break things, and it'll make you not cool, and nobody will like to be around you. But your body needs it to happen because it's got all this energy. It's not shaken out. So you can do it any old way. That's probably not what any therapist would say they do, but that's kind of one of the things you can get out of it. Kind of like more of a green meme therapy. You can get it out of dance. You can get it out of sex. You can get it out of various things. Sports, maybe. I don't know. Definitely when I feel more positive, more connected, it's that sense that I could let it out at any moment, or in a particular relationship with particular person. On that day when I have my appointment and I go into my therapist, am I going to really open up right now? That's my mental illness. No, I'm not. I'm going to do something different than that.
Well, you recognize the problem then, a part of the problem.
That's a great step, right?
A symptom, yeah.
A symptom.
You're going in person, like you're sharing the same air.
I'm really glad to be doing that. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. I would assume that would be a bit different.
It's nice. Yeah, the remote thing, there was a little bit on BetterHelp. I feel like it may be a culture thing, and it may be the state I was in. There's various factors, but like just kind of this laziness around it, like they kind of just show up late and they're just kind of like, hey, so last week, like, I'm sorry, what are we doing? That happened like a lot.
I wasn't going to name drop, but yeah, BetterHelp is who I used.
This is how you know when I'm like working on something and I don't understand it, is like every time you see me, I have like a new, totally different way of conceptualizing it. What is actually therapy?
I don't think you or I would get emotionally to the point of the shaky voice, sweaty palms, fidgety with AI therapy.
Yeah,
and still like force
I just don't
yourself
even
to
understand
be
all these people who are like nervous in therapy. Like, because they did something bad and they're like, they don't want to confess.
Just being able to let it out. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, nothing's stopping any of us from just booking a random old geezer therapist and just going to town on him like some stranger on an airplane.
Jesus, don't.
But nobody do it. You don't do it. We still care that it's a person. I mean, because it seems to be a negative experience, mostly for people who are told to go as opposed to going like of their own volition.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. But even so, like, okay, so I have to go to a therapist because these douchebags think I'm crazy or whatever. So I go there,
yeah,
and
it's part of my
I
probation.
just have a human I can just abuse right now. I can just do whatever I want with this person.
Verbally.
I could fucking play solitaire. Like I could do something that benefits me out of this situation because it's so voluntary. They don't make you do anything.
I'm forced to be here, and there's nothing you can say or do to make me talk to you. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
we'll sit in silence.
That's
Stop playing your fucking tricks on me. But no, I'm no tricks.
that happened a little bit in our first couple of sessions. There's
What
sort of like long pauses. I was like, do you want me to like lead this? I don't know who leads this. I can
And
lead
then
this is fine.
even more frustratingly, well, if you feel like you need to lead it.
if you feel like you need
yeah.
to. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, because you don't need to tell me what I'm trying to do here, so I know what I need from this. So
I feel like that was part of what was lacking in my sessions. Can you please just guide this somewhere? Okay. Can you expand on that? Okay. Let me in a little bit of the process here because I don't see why what we're talking about is relevant at all to what I want out of this. It felt to me like they're playing the long game to make sure that we're getting more sessions.
I think it really exposes kind of the platform too. It's like a therapist in an actual building. They have like kind of that building's commercial interest and reputation and management,
Like the
even
firm,
just the neighborhood. Yeah,
the
yeah.
office itself. Yeah, they have
And the
rent to pay
human, the
right.
human beings that come in all the time, the staff and everything. Like BetterHelp, I think that it's like it's not like they're worried about like the BetterHelp brand or whatever. Like
I did leave one, not bad review, but
Okay.
telling.
Yeah.
I did not want to talk about religion, and in their first communication, they ended it with "God bless." Like that's okay. So I don't trust you at all.
a little pushy.
I did put that comment, but I still think I did 3 out of 5 stars. They wrote back. Another thing about that is in the office, your word of mouth, maybe a little bit of advertising, whatever. BetterHelp just funnels people in. It doesn't matter if you're great or shitty.
Yeah.
Great or shitty. There'll be 10 more tomorrow that you can say yes or no. I'm going to take them on, and then it's
Yeah,
up to you
so
if
I
you're
guess
good or
it
not.
all goes to just say like that the therapists are going to be shittier on that. I mean, at least in my experience and your experience.
To an extent, they have
Unless
less
you're in like
skin
a
the
tiny
game.
butthole town or something, then maybe better odds for you.
Well, there's one option, and they're part of the KKK.
Oops. Well, I think that's about it for me. We've loved having you here talking a little bit about artificial intelligence applications here on the unThinkMe show with Adam and James.
I appreciate the deep dive into interpersonal communication with the human, or just getting the straight facts from AI,
Or just getting dumped on.
or breaking up as a professional wrestler. All in one backs.
All in one box.
The Tad Packs multi-pack.
Yeah, I think the completed video will be like the wrestling bit.
That's it. It's 10 minutes.
Dear YouTube, we're breaking up with you. Love you, and see you next week, probably.